Hello, this is Mrs. Decker, and this is Objective 1C. I can differentiate between temperature and heat. I can convert between Celsius and Kelvin temperature scales, as well as between joules and calories. So the first thing we need to do is talk about the difference between temperature and heat. Temperature is defined as the measure of the random motions of the components of a substance. So when you're taking the temperature, you're really measuring how fast the molecules are moving. The units it is measured in are degrees Fahrenheit, degrees Celsius, and Kelvin. Degrees Fahrenheit are really only used here in the US, so in science we use metric systems, so we will be using mainly degrees Celsius and Kelvin. To convert between degrees Celsius and Kelvin is pretty simple, but you will have to remember how to do it. I will not give you these equations or the number. So to convert from Celsius to Kelvin, we want to use Kelvin equals degrees Celsius plus 273. To convert from Kelvin to Celsius, you use degrees Celsius equals Kelvin minus 273. So here are some examples. So convert 24 degrees Celsius to Kelvin. So Kelvin equals 24 degrees Celsius plus 273. That gives us 297 Kelvin. The second example says convert 300 Kelvin to degrees Celsius. So we're looking for degrees Celsius, so we do 350 Kelvin minus 273, and that gives us 77 degrees Celsius. The last example problem is convert 75 degrees Celsius to Kelvin. So we're looking for Kelvin, so we do 75 degrees Celsius plus 273 gives us 348 Kelvin. Next, we want to talk about heat. Heat is defined as a flow of energy due to a temperature difference between two objects. We have two different units that we'll use to measure heat, and they are calories and joules. A calorie is the amount of energy or heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. A joule is the SI unit used to measure energy flow. You will need to be able to convert back and forth between joules and calories. And to do that, you're going to use the two equalities below. So 1 kilojoule is equal to 1,000 kilojoules is part of the metric conversions that you should be fairly familiar with at this point. You need to know this conversion. You need to know that 1 kilojoule is equal to 1,000 joules. Joules are smaller than kilojoules. I will not give you this equality. I will, however, give you this equality that 1 calorie is equal to 4.184 joules. So you will always have that equality on your quiz or your test. So to do these conversions, we're going to go back to our T-charts. So our given information is 230 calories, and we can shorten calories as CAL. Set up your T-chart, and we're going to use the equality 1 calorie is equal to 4.184 joules, and joules can be shortened capital J. So you do 230 times 4.184, and that gives us 962 joules. The second example says convert 37 joules to calories. So we start with our given information, 37 joules, and we're going to use the same conversion factor, but this time 4.184 joules needs to be on the bottom and 1 calorie on the top. So you do 37 divided by 4.184 joules, and that gives us 8.84 calories. The last example problem says convert 98 kilojoules to calories. Now our given information is 98 kilojoules, and we want to convert to calories, but our given conversion factor is between calories and joules. So in order to be able to use that, we need to convert from kilojoules to joules first. So remember, 1 kilojoule is equal to 1,000 joules. Now kilojoules cancels out and we have joules, so now we can use our conversion factor of 1 calorie equals 4.184 joules. And we'll put the 4.184 joules on the bottom and 1 calorie on the top. So you do 98 times 1,000 divided by 4.184 joules. And when you do that, you get 23,400 calories. Understanding the difference between temperature and heat can be a little bit tricky, so there is a great short YouTube video posted on Google Classroom, so I want you to go ahead and watch that and then work on the conversion problems in your packet. The answers to those are also posted on Google Classroom. Let me know if you need help.